In match number 4, it's in the welterweight division. First making his way to the JCI stage, Jordan Mills.
In steps Jordan Mills, another veteran of JCI 1. Back at JCI 1, he pulled off one of the more memorable submissions of the night. If you remember, it was kind of an inverted, no-arm triangle. I believe he calls it the fruit roll-up. We'll find out if he's able to roll up his opponent here tonight at JCI 2.
His opponent making his way to the JCI stage, Will Gates.
The 27-year-old purple belt out of Real Movement and Martial Arts, Will Gates, picked up a heel hook finish at JCI 1 over Brett Corcoran. I mean, this guy's been there and done that, from competing on the world stages of Jiu-Jitsu, ADCC, traveling all over the place. Here's a guy that, when you ask him about his heroes and who he wanted to shout out, he said, I want to shout out my mom and dad. You guys are the best. I love that.
I love that so much.
I love that.
All right, grappling fans, in the Vixen here. It's time for match number 4, welterweight division action. Introducing first, the grappler to my right. He is a purple belt from Cedar Valley BJJ and Team Curran from Cedar Falls, Iowa, Jordan Mills. His opponent, standing to my left, in the red corner, he is a purple belt representing Real Movement and Martial Arts from Elk Grove, Illinois, by way of Fremont, Michigan. He is Will Gates. No gi action. Let's go.
Your referee for this matchup, Mark the Shark Wallen. This is such an exciting matchup, Jessica. It's, you know, it's early on in the card, and I love the placement of this matchup, giving the fans a real feature bout early on. 2 highlight reel finishes at JCI 1 now, locking horns here in JCI 2.
What stood out to me last time that these both competed was just their composure, their ability to be so creative and fluid as they roll.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that they're both so young in their career, which is just amazing. 3.5 years into training for Mills, 4 years for Gates, but both so savvy, both already very confident in who they are as grapplers. There you see settling into the body lock from the butterfly guard is Will Gates.
As we've seen from Mills, Mills really likes to pull guard. He likes to compete from bottom, really try and work that guard. But Gates was ready for it. He, as guard was pulled, he locked up that body lock, and now he's going to try and pass those legs, get past that guard.
That Mills was pretty transparent. He said, look out for my signature fruit roll-up move. I pulled it off from north-south at JCI 1, but I can also do it from bottom out or bottom side control or just about anywhere. There you see him potentially looking into some rubber guard action momentarily.
If he wants to play rubber guard, though, he really does need to move his hips. He needs to get a much more drastic angle.
Is that potentially why the body lock is so important for Gates right now, in order to keep him in front of him, maybe?
Absolutely. He has to keep those hips squared. I'm not a huge fan of the body triangle from guard, but this is Mills' game. He knows what he's doing. He's kind of one of those exceptions to the rule. Yeah,
that's one of those positions that in the past you hear people say, oh, it's hard to get offensive if you lock in that body triangle from the bottom. But one thing that's certain, this sport is constantly evolving, and it's only the rule until it's broken. Isn't that so much the case?
So much.
Sitting back for a straight ankle lock there is Will Gates. We know how dangerous he is with the leg entanglements.
Mills doing a great job of being urgent with that defense.
You know, I think part of the savviness that goes into being a real leg lock player is knowing when to sit back, but also knowing when to bail. You saw as he extended the leg, he wasn't quite happy, and he worked his way back up into the guard of Mills. Gates very patient from inside the guard there. It looks as if Mills is really focused on prying that arm out, Jess. What sort of opportunities would actually freeing that arm present for Jordan?
I mean, he could get a Kimura, a Choi bar. He could get triangle. There are a lot of options from that. It's a very threatening position, but Gates did a great job of staying calm and really protecting his arm.
Yeah, and you know, the fact that he disengaged maybe makes you think that he wasn't loving the control that Mills was gaining from there.
Well, he was more in a defensive position, and you know, in submission only, it's okay to be a little defensive, but you want to get to where you can get to a submission, and it's not going to be from defensive.
Now, you see almost like momentarily it looked like it was almost like a no-gi spider guard as he was controlling with the foot in the bicep there was Mills. It's clear Mills has a very tricky guard and Gates is onto it. And for that reason, I think patience is paramount for a top player.
Yeah, right now I think he's just kind of collecting data. He is staying a bit safe. He has been offensive at moments, but when you go with somebody with a guard like Mills, you have to really get all the information before you start implementing offense.
Well, if it's indeed been a downloading period, now they're left with a little bit over 2.5 minutes left to work here in regulation. Of course, should that expire, we head to overtime, and as we learned in our pre-show after chatting to Mark Vives, that overtime's so important, Jessica, as we essentially get tabula rasa, clean slate going into that overtime, and well, it's all about what happens in that additional period. But we'll see. 2 minutes still left in regulation.
Gates is doing a great job of controlling the legs, staying safe. I just need to see more urgency, especially with the clock running out. We're under 2 minutes now.
And again, we are going to, should time expire, we're going to be getting into the overtime portion of this match. But it does make you wonder how the judges will look at an exchange such as this one. As you said, Jess, Will's doing a great job of maintaining posture and this, that, and the other from the top, but Mills has been quite active from the bottom. He is looking to create an opportunity. Whatever the case, a little over a minute left. We'll see if Gates is able to do something with this top position or if Mills is able to extract something.
If I was either one of their corners, I would tell them to start stepping on the gas. See what they can open up and then build off of that into the extension round.
Ah, interesting. So if anything, create a little bit of momentum that you take into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, there you see a little bit of the inverting there, like almost down to a handstand momentarily from Jordan Mills.
Mills, he knows the clock is running out and he can get a little bit creative with it, you know, see what opens up when he switches up his positions.
Yes. Right on it.
Potentially looking to get into triangle territory there momentarily was Mills, but wise to it was Gates as he collects a leg. With a little over 15 seconds left to work. It does look like Mills has potentially cleared that knee line.
Oh.
It sounds like they maybe mistook the 10-second
Cowbell.
Cowbell. We need more cowbell is the point.
You know, we haven't heard a buzzer go yet, so I understand how there was a little confusion right there.
Fair enough. We haven't needed a buzzer till now because it's been submission only and only submissions. But now we go to the overtime period. Here's a coin flip from Mark the Shark. Roll, roll, roll. The decision goes to the black corner. He chooses. Not much of a surprise there. Jordan choosing bottom.
And with closed guard, this is where he wanted to be.
Now he gets his closed guard and immediately opens it. Immediately to mission control there. See, earlier when he tried to get that that rubber guard position. Will still had the body lock. This time, very wise to immediately toss the legs up at the beginning of overtime, so he's able to secure that mission control position. Look at that. Will Gates feeling the pressure let off and immediately escaping.
Pass side to side, the legs have to go wide, we'll split. Same thing, bottom leg free. I don't think you can pull that one through. Get that bottom leg free, Jordan. Mission attempts for
Gates wise to back out and kind of, you know, enter the guard on his terms now instead of having to start in that closed guard. If I'm him, I'm trying to really hit those heads down. I'm trying to move the legs past. I'm trying to get past that hip line.
Now, you got to wonder as well, if you're Will Gates and you have had the ability to sit back for those leg locks and have the entries that he did have in the first period, it makes you wonder if it's worth doing in overtime, because should he spend a good amount of time with an extended leg or something like that, it could most certainly look favorably to the judges.
I agree with you there.
Thus far, it is just kind of a bit of a cat and mouse back and forth between Mills and Gates still.
Yeah, this is when I want to see the urgency. I understand wanting to be safe, but you got to go when you got to go.
There we hear Joey Deal, CEO and president of Real Movement and Martial Art, imploring his fighter to, let's see one more submission attempt. But as long as, you know, Mills is able to keep that leg clamped over the top, he's most certainly going to thwart any attempts. Good job of shucking it off there by Gates again.
Mills is doing a great job of being offensive. He hasn't necessarily had a submission attempt in the bag or at the start, but it looks like he is busier, and it looks like he is really making it challenging for Gates to mount any kind of decent offense. Nice north-south position. And nice defense by Mills.
Well, it looks like Mills was potentially ready to create a back attempt there should he give up that north-south position.
One of my favorite back attempts, for sure.
Yeah, you flexible folks do like that stuff, don't you?
We do.
Good job of, you know, Will did attempt to pass the guard there, and a good job of reading it by Mills, composing guard again. It looks like the OT will expire in the position a lot of the match took place in, inside the open guard of Jordan Mills. Technical, gritty, workmanlike from both. It'll be interesting to see how the judges view that matchup, Jess. And I'm not going to put you on the spot, Jessica, because nobody likes that.
I don't mind.
Who
I'm
won?
good under pressure.
Who won? Who won?
I'd say they're going to give it to Mills, honestly.
Interesting.
You don't think so? What do you think?
I'm the nerd play-by-play guy. I don't have to put myself
I mean,
out
I'm
there.
the MMA fighter. Come on.
That's why I need you here, man. Someone's got to call the shots. Let's get the final decision, make it official. But heading into the Polish Hammer, Chris Hordeski.
All right, submission fans, let's make some noise for our first bout to go into overtime. And these two athletes, high-level submission grappling was there. But the judges have come to a unanimous decision. Your winner out of the black corner, Jordan Mills!
Jordan Mills securing another victory here at JCI, advancing to 2-0 at the Jeff Curran Invitational. A very, I mean, that was a jiu-jitsu nerd kind of dream to like match up, to kind of like dissect, because there's just a lot to look at there, Jessica. Both very technical fighters, perfectly match made.
Oh, I was supposed to go out that way.
There we see that E-Pro replay. It's the jockeying for positions. Will Gates did a good job attacking, but Mills just kind of seemed on top of it time and time again, Jessica.
Yeah, he seemed to neutralize a lot more than Gates was able to offend.
Very exciting. We look forward to seeing both of those fighters return to the JCI stage, and I'm sure we will see them again.
All right, submission fans.